Hey guys, Professor Bell Comic Book Universe, the Inhumans trailer dropped. Alright, let's check this thing out, shall we?
Sooner or later, the humans are going to find us up here.
You should have known this day was coming.
So they're on the moon.
Are we supposed to follow our king and remain as silent as he is? We need to go to Earth now. We've been hiding here too long. Let's go to our rightful home. If we were on Earth, we would have a glorious planet to live on, thrive on.
You're talking about betraying your brother. You're talking about treason.
You're blind to his intentions. Right or wrong, he's dangerous.
What I'm talking about is freedom. Freedom for all Inhumans. Are you going to use your voice to kill your only brother? Stop it! What the?
We will not let anyone or anything stop us. We will create our destiny. Nothing can keep us from being free.
Is that it? I like Lockjaw. Alright. Crap. I don't know how I feel about this. Actually, the problem is I do know what I feel about this, and I don't like how I feel about this. Alright, it's cool that that new Adeline, whatever, is gonna be on the moon. That's the blue area of the moon. In the comics, that's basically an area where the Skrulls, who at the time were actually a benevolent race, you might know them as the Jatari, yeah, they sent these two races to these two species, races of creature to an area on the moon called the Blue Area, and they said, you guys both create something, and whoever is greater will be considered the greater of those two species. There was no punishment for whoever lost or whatever, just, they said, let's just do this because the Kree were very warlike and they wanted to destroy the other race. Well, they wound up destroying the other race and started the Kree-Skrull War, and yeah. Anyway, so part of what was created was this huge area that had air on the moon. Whatever. And it's on the far side of the moon that we will essentially never see. So, yeah. No, it's not the dark side of the moon. Just look that up if you're not familiar with what that means. There's no such thing as the dark side of the moon. What do you call it? Anyway, so yeah, and then they'll eventually come down here, and maybe this will even end with new Adeline being created on Earth, because they can't live up there anymore. I don't know. Either way, that's probably the only cool part I see of this. I see Rayon, Rees, whatever, the guy playing Maximus the Mad from Game of Thrones. He's basically playing from what I see on the trailer, mind you, all we have to go by is what's on the trailer, right? He was genuinely a frightening person, the flayed man in Game of Thrones. I hated him, and he was a very scary kind of creature, Here, not so much. Maximus Mad isn't afraid to die in the comics, not even remotely. He's not afraid to die. So, no fear of pain, no fear of anything. It's just like he's like the Joker in those kinds of regards, But he's got other abilities, also other aspects of his personality. But in that particular regard, he's like the Joker, Like you hurt him, and it's like, that was interesting. He doesn't get frightened for things like that. So I don't know how well this is going to... This doesn't look good. This really doesn't look good. And that bugs me because I like the Inhumans. I really do, a lot. I'm still going to see this in IMAX, though. because I have hope. By it going to IMAX, let's put it this way. This is not a feature-length film, but this would actually absolutely be the first thing that actually failed by Marvel. So, Marvel Cinematic Studios. So if they do fail, it's not that I want to be there when they fail. I want to see the Hindenburg go down. It's not a glutton for punishment kind of thing. Rather, it's more of I have hope that the trailer is not great, but the film itself will be spectacular. That's what I'm hoping. Just, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. Genuinely, we'll have to see. It is a TV series. We'll have to see. But I believe that all of this is coming from the first episode, which would actually be the first 2 episodes. I believe the first 2 episodes are going to be shown in IMAX in the form of one episode, and then when it comes, and that'll be on September 1st, and then on September 29th, when it comes to regular ABC TV, that's when it'll be, okay, here's the first episode, and then here's the second episode the week later that you've seen in the movies if you went to IMAX and saw it. But here's an extra 5 minutes of footage from each one, on regular TV. So, yeah, I still plan on seeing it in IMAX. And I hope it's not a glutton for punishment kind of situation. But I have faith that Marvel is not going to put out garbage. I'm literally just going by faith here, and you don't get into a giant rocket ship based on faith. You get on a giant rocket ship based on understanding how all the parts work and seeing the construction of it and knowing that all of these moving parts are actually going to function. That's actually a reference back to Armageddon, the movie. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this, and that's really all I could say about this. I'm just going to be repeating variations of the exact same thing. The characters look good. They don't look great. The story looks very watered down. Seeing the teleportation scene with Lockjaw and what's his face looks good. Karnak. I know a lot of people can't wait to see what Black Bolt is doing. Not me. I want to see what Karnak does. Karnak is my favorite. Karnak in his limited series, which I actually plan on reviewing on this channel pretty soon. All 6 issues of that. Probably the best scene in that was a part where he walks in to this area. There's these guys who are anticipating, like, oh my God, are you the devil? Are you? And he's sitting there and he's got a hoodie on, a green hoodie, and he's looking down but looking up, through the tops of his eyelids, and he says, "Oh, lightning," and he says, "Satan is but a myth. I am Karnak," and it's like, it's reading that on paper, it's a terrifying moment. Where there's lightning, there's thunder. That was a terrifying moment for those guys. And I remember reading that and just going, oh my God. And it was literally that moment where I said, I got to review this entire series. And the Inhumans really do have an amazing story. They were literally created, 2 months, maybe 6 months, whatever it was, within a year after the X-Men. You know what I'm saying? So, like, 1963, September 1963 is when they were created, and I think it was December of 1963 when the Inhumans were created by the same guys, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the idea of one is better than the other. One simply had their own run of a comic book. The other was a backstory that were meant to be mysterious, The Inhumans are meant to be mysterious. As long as they keep that mystery alive, I feel that they could be good, that this story could be good, that this television series and the IMAX premiere could be good. If they don't keep to that, I don't know how they're going to turn this into something else, Honestly, I don't know. But we'll see. Got an eyelash or something in my eye I got to take care of. All right, guys. That's literally my reaction. That's my very first time seeing this. That's my reaction. I'm going to start doing some reviews explained in a minute. This Saturday, expect the Tinkerer explained in a minute because he's going to be in the Spider-Man Homecoming. I already did the other 2 villains. There are going to be 3 villains in Spider-Man Homecoming, the Vulture and the Shocker. Both of them I did, and I'm talking about the Shocker, and yeah, you don't have any idea how hard it was to not put that symbol in the what do you call it, in the review. But regardless, so I already explained those two characters. I'm going to explain the Tinkerer also. The Tinkerer in Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man comic book that just came out last week. It's revealed that the Tinkerer actually has a brother. And he's a good guy, which is kind of cool, and I will incorporate that also. But expect that, and check out all my other reviews if you haven't seen my other Explained in a Minute characters, where I literally take about a minute or two and I explain an entire character, sometimes two characters or multiple versions of the same character in one video, so that you could come out of a movie theater and go, oh, that was interesting. I wonder what this character is like in the comics. And then, boop, take a minute. Literally, just take a minute of your time and you will understand more than enough about, where this character came from, who created this character, his first appearance, his or her first appearance, and all sorts of different aspects of this character. Aside from that, I'm going to have to start making some Explained in a Minute. I was asked to do it a long time ago, like several months ago, and now I'm going to have to finally buckle down and put out Explained in a Minute for at least the members of the royal family. So, yeah, look forward to that in the future. All right, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.